Welcome to the Bullits and Bourbon podcast, where it's not about the bourbon, but more about who you share it with.
Everybody, welcome back to Bullits Bourbon. Jason and Dan here. Saturday morning.
Because 2 weeks in a row, right?
Yeah, because I think Friday night was a little rough last night. It was fun.
It was a good night.
We had a good night. Weather got crisp and cool. We had our good friend Casey over. We had the entire crew though. We had Craig,
Ty, Connor,
Matt, Jim, and then we were joined by Casey and Preston, who are whiskey lovers as well, and they came by, and we just decided to enjoy the night and not really worry about trying to do an episode. Yeah. So here we are, Saturday morning. Got to enjoy our Tottenham Hotspurs. Put a good old whipping. That was a good game.
It's a good game all the way around. It's good to finally find them, let them see them get their groove of things.
And it felt like, for those of you people out there that are like soccer fans like us, like I was beginning to wonder, like, what the hell? When are we gonna have soccer again? Like, when are we gonna have like Premier League? Because it was the international break, and it just felt like it was never ending.
Yeah.
A month. It wasn't a month.
It was a week and a half.
It was a week and a half, but it just felt like forever. That we didn't get to watch our Spurs play. So huge win. I think huge win over West Ham. A little bit of fighting going on too.
Oh yeah. People say soccer's soft, but
it's soft.
Physical.
Yeah. So here we are, and we were going to do this last night, and at the kind of the behest of others that said, hey, let's talk about this bottle, and this is the Beyonce's Queen Bee's.
Well, before we dive into this, I got to stop you because I got to remind our listeners, if you're looking for Bullits and Bourbon merch, go to the Bullits and Bourbon merch page, www.bullitsandbourbon.com. Also, there's a few quick things. We still got the bottle giveaway. All you got to do is follow and like on Instagram and Facebook. Comment and tag 3 people in the comments, and you're automatically registered for that bottle.
That's 2 entries right there.
And if you're a paid Patreon member, of course, you're automatically entered in for 6 entries. But if we get up to 50 paid Patreon members this month, we have 2 bottles that we're giving away strictly only for our Patreon members. It's $4 a month, less than a cup of coffee. You can't beat that. And
Elmer T. Lee, man, you don't want to miss out on this bottle. So.
And then, of course, got to say, November 2nd, we'll be at Southern Tier.
Yeah.
And then we also have our barrel pick through Liberty Pool coming out in November as well. So keep listening, and we'll have those details out soon.
Yep.
So
big couple of weeks ahead for us. So this was a change of pace for us. I picked this up on a whim. I didn't know anything about this bottle until I saw it, and then it kind of jogged my memory about, this is another famous person backing a brand or making a brand
ambassador, putting some money into a product. But you got a lot. The thing is, you got a lot more celebrities, a lot more people becoming brand ambassadors, or putting money into funding to come out with their own brand, if it's whiskey, vodka, tequila. So it's always interesting to see what they're backing and supporting.
So what's interesting about this is that she made sure that she was addressed in the write-up for this as Mrs. Beyonce Knowles Carter, and lately with Beyonce, she made this transition to country music, right?
I don't even call it a transition to country music. I call it a gimmick.
So she says that she grew up on country, which is fine. I'm not gonna settle each way over there.
No,
but
see, that's bullshit, because when she was with the what was the girl group she was with?
Was that the Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls group?
No, that's TLC you're thinking of. But the group she was with before, she was brought up on gospel and church music, and that's where she found her voice. But now all of a sudden I was brought up on country.
We're skeptical, to say the least. So the bottle is so the deal on this bottle is it's a rye finished in cognac cask. Now, full disclosure, it's MGP. So, you could talk a lot about a bottle and hype it up, but basically they sent a mash bill over and MGP made it. So I don't know. 88 proof.
88 proof
is real low for us.
Yeah,
So,
especially for a rye or any type of whiskey.
yeah. So I'm curious to see what you think on this. I have not had this, and you have not had this. So this is a fresh sip. I've never tasted this before.
There's not much on the nose.
Yeah.
I can get a little bit of citrus with a little bit of what's the word I'm looking for? That alcohol smell.
The ethanol.
The ethanol.
Ethanol. Yeah.
But
Well,
there's not like nothing strong on the nose that I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. So let me dive in.
Yeah, I'm trying, like right now, I'm trying to look up and see what the cost is, because I don't remember what I paid for it. Yeah, okay, there we go. I didn't pay that, but that's the MSRP. So
I mean, it has nice legs. I'll give it that much, but it's 88 proof.
What do you get on the palate?
Nothing. I mean, I get it falls a little flat for a rye.
All right, let me give it a... Now, I mean, look, in full disclosure too, we are in the land of the OG ryes, PA ryes, Monongahela, Rosen. To the north of us you have Empire Rye, but we're in the birthplace of rye, and we like a bold, zesty, spicy, bodied, viscous rye. So a lot do fall short, but let me. So the nose is unimpressive to me. I have scent, light sense of cognac, very 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 light sense, but not a citrus, not a pepper. There's not a lot going on in the nose. It's just very 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 mild. There's almost zero viscosity. It's almost like drinking juice, like
it's
water.
Because it looks like it has good legs.
No, there's nothing performing at all on this palate at all. There is no distinguishable. There's nothing about this that makes me go, "Oh, that's interesting." There's nothing about it that makes me go. It's not bad.
It's not good either. It's not like some of the horrible whiskeys that we cover up the name and it was like,
yeah,
okay, have you had worse whiskey than this? It's just 88 proof.
I mean, we could honestly, the way that we drink whiskey, we could easily kill this bottle and be completely functional. There would be nothing. I don't think it would even touch us.
No. I don't even think I would want to kill this bottle just because I wouldn't enjoy it. There's no front end. There's no finish.
There's absolutely zero hug.
No hug. And
this is like literally like drinking a beer.
I don't know if they did this intentionally for such a low proof on a whiskey to possibly bring some Beyonce fans in to where, it's not going to have that strong Kentucky hug and packed full of flavor that most people who are not experienced whiskey drinkers really don't care for right off the bat.
If that's the case, the way that they market this, from the seasoned drinker to the new drinker,
it's more for the new drinker. I don't think any seasoned drinker is really going to enjoy this.
Yeah, I guess my beef with this. We talked about it yesterday. We'll have an open mind with this bottle, but we've seen a lot of celebrities come out and sponsor bottom. Chris Stapleton with Traveler, Brothers Bond.
Brothers
Bond. I'm
gonna grab that real quick.
Well, you got Blackened too. So and there's others. To think off the top of my head.
So the thing is, I had Brothers Bond last night. And Brothers Bond's an MGP product as well.
Yeah.
But this was actually very well done.
Yeah, they do a good job. And this isn't I feel like, we walk a fine line between knocking MGP. There's nothing wrong with MGP. But my thing is that the difference in MGPs is I guess if you're sourcing all your whiskey, then you better be pretty good at what you do when it comes to picking barrels that you source your whiskey from. And if you're sending a mash bill off or whatever, I can't figure out this. This to me is just, it lacks. If you talk about three categories, right? Nose, palate, and finish.
Yeah.
Which is the general three. And I guess you could get snobby and go into more. Then you would say most of the time, even with a bad whiskey, you're going to have something decent on one of them. What was the one that we tried the other day that had it was the Cleveland Underground, the aged for 1 minute. Remember the nose on that was like, we were like, whoa, the nose is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And then it crashed out. It wasn't the zero palate, almost zero finish. But for the Sir Davis, there's nothing great on the nose, nothing great on the palate, and there is zero finish. I mean...
And I think something like this, you're going to have to market it to a specific audience. And that's, I mean, it's a beautiful bottle, beautiful top on the bottle. And you got Beyonce Knowles Carter, endorsing it, ambassador. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of hype around it, but it's not that great.
I mean, shouldn't she change it to Sir Diddy?
Nah,
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean,
but it's just interesting, like you said, all these celebrities that are brand ambassadors now and coming up with their own whiskeys or partnering with different distilleries or just spirits in general, like Brothers Bond. That's the one. It's coming in at 114 proof, and I really enjoyed this last night.
Blackened, Heaven's Door.
Heaven's Door.
I mean, both of those come out with some pretty doggone good, juice. I mean, and look, I'll throw Traveler a bone because it's a Buffalo Trace. It's good, especially when Traveler first came out, it was overpriced. Everybody was rushing to it because it's a Buffalo Trace product, and Chris Stapleton, they had to have it. And when we got a bottle, we got it at retail, but it was what, 80, 90 to 100. They were paying 110, some people. Yeah, and we were like, no way is it worth that juice. Now that it's kind of back down to where it should be, it's a good quality pour for the bang for the buck. This,
no,
what would you pay for that?
I wouldn't pay more than $49 for that bottle.
What do you think it cost?
I'd say probably $70 to $89.
$89 retail.
Yeah.
So
and like I said, it's all the flashy lights and who's tied to it. Like, so Brothers Bond, it's one brother from Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
And he's been promoting the hell out of this, and I'm very glad I tried this last night because it was good.
Well, you've had the original Brothers Bond.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed. I mean, obviously we've taken to the bottle pretty good. I think we killed off. There's another one over here that we've
killed off pretty good.
We're close to killing off.
Well, you got another one on that back shelf that you got hidden that's pretty good.
It's been beat up pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I guess. I mean, I don't understand what they were aiming for with the Sir Davis. I absolutely don't think it's
experienced whiskey.
It's experienced whiskey drinkers drink. I mean, I wouldn't even give it. I would. What would have been interesting is if Matt, our intern, would have tried this.
I think
we need to have Matt. We need to have Jim, Connor, Craig, and Ty give this a run and see what they think.
So I think the experienced guys are all going to say the same thing. It's going to fall flat. It's 88 proof. There's no front end. There's no finish. There's not really anything great on the nose. Bottle looks great. That's about it.
I have no desire to finish it. I'll be honest with you. I'm not gonna say it's undrinkable because it's drinkable, but it does nothing for me. It's not tickling the sack at all. I mean, I'm gonna call it like it is. It's not tickling the sack. I would much rather just drink a beer. Yeah. That's how simple this is. It feels like it just feels like a bourbon flavored or a whiskey cask beer.
It tastes like a whiskey. I mean, it doesn't even taste like a rye. It's supposed to be a rye, but it doesn't.
It has no rye character to it. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, it has no rye character, and if you're bringing something out, especially if you're trying to get your audience, who your audience for the most part, club goers, young women, and
I don't know who
fans. I don't know who our fans are. But most of them aren't going to dive into a rye. Like, you were better off going with a whiskey or a bourbon instead of a rye.
Yeah, that's the odd part. So that's why I have a hard time with believing that it was purposely crafted so mellow and so easy because of. I mean, she's made this great effort to dive into the country world. Most people in the country music world, you're already in it with the bigger brands, right? I mean, it's just kind of how the culture rolls. The bottle just screams flashy.
Yeah,
it's a pretty bottle. The bottle is probably the majority of the cost of this thing.
Yeah.
But the taste doesn't follow up, and I think that's where it just, when I pair it next to these two, I'd pay $89 for this before I pay $49 for this. So, I mean, it is what it is. It would be interesting to get the rest of the crew's thoughts on it. We'll have to pour it, maybe on Tuesday. I'd love to see Connor and Matt's take, especially Matt. Since they're younger. And Matt's palate is still fairly new. Now, I mean, he did go out and get his bottle of Old Tub.
Well, he did get Old Tub, but he came back with Elijah Craig last night.
Yeah, straight rye.
Straight rye.
So I mean, yeah, but I mean, he even he said when he tried the Old Tub, he was like, oh my god, because remember he sent us the picture, we're like, oh shit, Old Tub, like all the ones, like oh.
But he got it fairly cheap.
Yeah.
So
hey, there are a ton of people that love Old Tub. Yeah. So I mean, for you and I, honestly, we probably need to revisit it. It's been a good
2-3 years.
Yeah,
longer.
It's
than
been
that,
longer
4
than
years
that.
probably.
So I mean, maybe we owe Old Tub a revisit and see. We got to do that. We got to do that for our listeners too, because we talk about the ones we didn't like, and then we come back to for me, Knob Creek. You know what I'm saying? And maybe it's worth it's a $30 bottle.
Yeah.
Pick it up and try it. I mean, it may shock the guys, but what if we like it?
Probably interesting. I doubt it though. But
what are you pulling out from underneath the bar?
It's my favorite time of year. It's fall time. We kind of started diving into the TV shows. So since it's fall time, I like to have a little bit of soup right here.
Soup?
Yeah, soup. This is what I call soup.
What are you doing, dude?
It's all nice. Soup.
God, oh, nice soup. Okay. I thought you were about to mix whiskeys, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, hell no.
I'm like, oh.
No.
I mean, we're not going to mix, we're going to make cocktails.
Yeah, we're going to make cocktails hopefully next Friday.
Next Friday?
Last night.
Well, next Saturday.
Next Saturday.
So, and Jennifer's actually going to jump on.
Yeah. Should be pretty good.
So, she loves to cook. And then we're going to do another cocktail episode. I was talking, to Jim about this because he's not going to be here, and he really wants to jump in on it. So we're going to do kind of a pumpkin, an October themed, and then we'll do a holiday themed again, like maybe the end of November, and we'll do kind of like more of the Christmassy cocktails, because he's got a bunch. Jim has a bunch he wants to try. I've got one. I think Craig's already picked out the cocktail. I don't want to ruin it, but I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun to try it with different whiskey, and it'd be cool too if some of the listeners chimed in and said, "Hey, can you make this or can you make that?" Or try it and give us a recipe to play with. I mean, I can tell you that we had talked about doing it last night, but I needed.
We had too many people over for anything. It got crazy very, very quickly.
Yeah, and I needed to make my simple syrup homemade. It's going to be homemade pumpkin. Homemade pumpkin sickles. Simple. Pumpkin. I can't even say it.
Pumpkin simple.
Yeah, but I mean, listen, it's pumpkin season. Everybody's going bonkers for it. I mean, so that'll be fun. That'll be fun to do. And kind of just play with whatever we make. Maybe it'll keep some of our group from getting so messed up, like
last night. Oh man, it's a good night.
Our intern Matt.
Hope you're feeling all right today.
Hope you're feeling okay today, buddy. Have you seen anybody that?
Oh yeah, come on. We were in the military. We've seen people a lot worse.
Okay, it's been a while.
It's been a while, but
But what's interesting is he went from this really bad state. He gradually did get better toward the other night. We said, all right, it's time to go to bed.
Yeah.
But I thought what was funny was you doing the HGN.
I'll tell you that when people don't think they're that drunk, you do the HGN and you have like 2 or 3 people watch it. They're like, "Holy shit! Yeah, you ain't driving anywhere,
man."
Their
eyes are bouncing to the left and to the right, and I mean, but we talked about it. The reason why that happens, we figured this out, is that when we're down here in the bar, and you're just bullshitting.
Oh, you're just standing around. It's easy just to keep filling that cup.
It gets dangerous, and I was telling you, and I was telling Connor, like. When Jim is over here, Jim is very good about controlling how much, and he's always drinking water.
Water in between.
So he's very disciplined with it, and you got to kind of if you want to do it the right way, you got to do it kind of the Jim Wiggin way, where you're not, whiskey. Next thing you know, you get upstairs, you're walking in the wall, and you're like, oh my god, because it can happen. It can happen pretty quickly. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see next Friday, Saturday. Next Saturday.
Yeah, we'll see next Saturday what goes on.
It's gonna be a busy couple of weeks.
Well, November's going to be really busy from the end of October to the beginning of November.
Well, really from here on out.
Yeah.
From here until, hopefully, be busy all the way till mid December. But we've got we've got those cool things coming up, right? We've got the event down at Southern Tier on the, how do you say it, North Shore?
North Shore.
Downtown,
yeah.
And we've got some other opportunities. We're going to be doing the Nose Your Bourbon.
Nose Your Bourbon kit. So yeah. Oh yeah,
so,
I almost forgot all about that.
Yeah. So when we can
once we get that software up and running, yeah.
And then we talked. We want to jump on the Whiskey Trip podcast with Big Chief, and do a collaboration. I think that'd be cool. I like what Big Chief does, and he's a Liberty Pole fan too. So it'll be neat. It'll be a chance to, and we've got tons of football between now and then.
Yeah.
I mean, like today, on tap, you've got some huge college football games.
Yeah.
What's the game? We're doing the Pitt Stanford game.
No, it's Pitt SMU, which is Southern Methodist University.
Which they're ranked.
They're ranked right now.
I thought it was Stanford.
I thought it was Stanford,
okay,
but I rechecked. It's SMU.
It's even better.
Mustangs. So
that's even better. I mean, at that point, Pitt could be undefeated still.
Yeah.
And headed for a showdown in the ACC with Miami to really play for a college football playoff spot.
Yeah, which would be really interesting.
Which would be huge. You've got other games like today. You've got Tennessee at.
Alabama?
Yeah, Tennessee at Bama, and
Georgia versus Texas.
Yeah, Georgia and Texas, and I mean those are juggernaut games. Those are going to start to really decide the landscape of college football the rest of the way going forward.
Yeah.
And you got Vanderbilt all of a sudden sitting there at looking pretty good. It could go 5-2 and guarantee a bowl for the first time in
a long time.
So there's some cool storylines. Indiana's undefeated.
Yeah.
I mean, what happens to Penn State? What happens to Oregon now? I mean, Oregon won last night. They beat Purdue.
Yeah,
which wasn't a surprise, but
the Ohio State game was huge for Oregon.
Yeah, it was huge. It was huge for Oregon, and I think you're starting to see this kind of gradient happen across college football right now. Like, what's going to happen? Who is going to come into the college football playoff with only one loss? Because I don't think anybody's going to go undefeated personally. And what is going to happen to your traditional powerhouses? Because if you look at Florida, crap. I mean, we blew a game. We should have beat the hell out of Tennessee. Michigan doesn't look good. Michigan looks like Florida, but they'll get more forgiveness. USC, all of a sudden, Lincoln Riley out of USC, that made that move that kind of really hurt Oklahoma. He's on the hot seat.
Yeah.
They're not saying it like he's on the Billy Napier hot seat at University of Florida, but he's lost a lot of games this year that they should have won.
But it's like them firing. Who they just fire in the NFL? The Jets coach, right?
Saleh.
Yeah.
Oh, and wasn't the talk? Oh, we're gonna get all fired up. Jets, Jets, lose.
Yeah.
Jets, Jets, lose.
Yeah.
I mean, not just lose. I mean, Buffalo went into them. Remember the entire week after that. Well, they're gonna have a new dynamic. They're gonna be fired up. Blah, blah, blah. Even though the stats said it is extremely rare for a team that fires its coach mid-season to ever make the playoffs. It's only happened once in the last 17 years. But you cannot tell a fan base
you have no chance.
You have no chance. So,
I mean, look at the Dallas Cowboys. Every year is their year.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I'm going to go back to the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears, all of a sudden, Caleb Williams is playing okay against marginal talent.
Yeah.
They played it bad. And they think they're going to the Super Bowl. Their fan pages are so obnoxious. I got to get on and troll them. He's way better than
Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. He's way better than the dude from Washington, Jaden Daniels, right?
He's not better.
Yeah. I mean, or he's way better than Bo Nix. Well, I watched Bo Nix play against the Saints, and I get it, the Saints were depleted this year, but we watched the game on Thursday night, and Bo Nix looked baller. Bo Nix, I mean, I got to be honest, Bo Nix looks like he looked like Drew Brees did in his prime.
I don't care. Daniels is
miles better.
Yeah.
But no, they believe in their diva, and you can't tell them different. So I'm gonna enjoy watching Chicago collapse like they always do, because they are no better than the Browns.
No, I can't even talk about the Browns because I genuinely feel bad for them. And then they just traded our
Armani Cooper to the Bills. All of a sudden, the Bills have a number one receiver.
I'm just you spent all this money on a quarterback. Now he has no receivers whatsoever.
Well, he's garbage. He has the worst QB rating in the NFL. Deshaun Watson, or of starters. This is with Cleveland. This is poetic justice.
Well, it's crazy. So I just laughed. So you paid him all that money. He's doing shit. Dallas paid Dak Prescott all that money.
Ain't doing shit.
He ain't doing shit. I think they scored a total like 60 points all season.
Yeah.
And 30 of those points were done by their kicker. Yeah. So who deserves the money, Dak or the kicker? And I feel bad for kickers. Some of these kickers should be making a hell of a lot more money.
Well, the article that I was reading about Deshaun Watson was they're still guaranteed $89 million on the table, or a figure very close to that. So they're trapped with Deshaun Watson. They can bench him and put Jameis Winston in.
No, but you ain't gonna get much better.
I don't think you're gonna get much better now. But maybe what you can do is silently signal that we're gonna move away from Deshaun Watson. But you can't trade him. He's got no draft value.
No, nobody's gonna want him.
Nobody wanted him
to begin
with because of the whole massage, sexual abuse and stuff.
The lawsuits and the potential suspensions,
which he got, and so he's never gotten a footing there. And then we talked about it. It's his attitude. It's like we see it and we're like, here's why I feel bad for him. I feel bad for Cleveland fans.
No,
to a degree.
Well. Here's the thing. Have you seen everything Baker Mayfield's doing? Baker Mayfield's balling out. But then there's a special, I think it's on Amazon, where he dresses up.
He goes undercover.
Undercover as a fake fan. Like you could tell genuinely everywhere he goes, and you hear other players talk about him, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He's a good dude. He wants everybody to succeed around him. He cares about the fans. He cares about going out and performing week after week. And Cleveland pissed that away.
I'm
like, if you're the owner, you have to fire your GM. Fire your GM, fire your coaching staff, start over from scratch. And I'm like, you can get a 12-year-old who plays Madden that can make better coaching decisions and GM decisions than your current GM.
Yeah, it's like I say, it's hard for me to feel bad for the Cleveland Browns team because they do this to themselves, just like Chicago. And, to a large degree, Carolina did it to themselves. It's this instant need to have whatever's hot, fresh, or new, or they think that they're gonna cheat to win, not cheat, but they're gonna kind of solve the equation to win. When you trust the process, Baker Mayfield has shown that he's a competitor, he's a winner, he's a good decision maker.
Took him to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's just now what you did is you wasted all that draft capital. Now I will say for the sake of argument, to be fair, Cleveland Browns have been good. They've been good with their money, even with that huge price tag they paid Deshaun Watson. So they have a chance they could bury the whole deal in a couple of years by moving it to, I can't remember the lingo for it. But basically, they shift the money around.
Yeah.
And maybe they really do need to look at the idea of just abandoning the season and calling it what it is, and playing and looking to draft a quarterback. The problem is that I don't see very many quarterbacks this isn't going to be a quarterback deep draft class coming out.
Well, the thing is, you don't even have to draft a quarterback. There's some second, third string quarterbacks that out there that can ball out.
I would go if I was Cleveland, I would go to Tampa Bay and I would talk to them seriously about Kyle Trask, because he was set to take over for Brady. He studied behind Brady, and now he's been sitting behind Mayfield. He pushed Mayfield. So you've got an opportunity there with a guy that's very cranial that makes good football decisions. We watched. It was kind of like when we watched the Saints. The Saints played Spencer Rattler, their quarterback pick, and I think he was the first quarterback taken after all the first rounds that happened, all the first round
big quarterbacks,
picks. Yeah. And he did not look very good. Now he doesn't have a lot of weapons. The Saints' offense is just depleted with injury. Starting with Derek Carr. But when they put in Hayden, I think was his name. Oliver was his name. Hayden, the backup, the real number 2 quarterback.
Yeah.
So they put Hayden in for 2 series to end the game, and dude was ball was out of his hand quick. He was on the ball making good throws, and he got them a touchdown. They hadn't scored the entire game, but your true second stringer comes in and scores. I would go and start looking at some of these people and saying, have we given this kid a fair shot? Have we given this kid a fair shot?
Yeah.
And then wait for a quarterback deep draft class, which I don't think you're going to have this year.
I mean, and I take it back. People get stuck on big names they balled out in college, big names. And I hate to say it, look at Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Look where Tom Brady was drafted.
How about Brock Purdy?
Brock Purdy.
Mr. Irrelevant.
The same thing. Like, there's guys out there, you give them a chance, they're hungry. And you got these other guys that they think they're entitled. They think because who they are, they automatically should be QB number 1. Like, look at Kenny Pickett. He didn't want to compete. Now he's what, 3rd string of Philadelphia?
I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know what he's doing. The contrast that against what's his name at Vikings, Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
The dude may very well be the MVP of the league this year.
Yeah, he's balling out too.
He's balling out. So, it's interesting. I'd like to see some of these. Not that I really ever want to see Cleveland compete with us. It'd be good, but for the sake of argument, it's interesting.
I think for the argument of sports, you want it to be competitive.
Yeah.
Unlike the NBA where you've got Bronny James, still bottom of fucking shit. I mean, granted, last night he played 35 minutes, put up 17 points, but...
How close was he to getting that magic thing for you?
It's still preseason, so it doesn't count. It doesn't count for me, but I mean, seriously, like, you watch his play, and I mean, honestly, I'm out of shape, I'm overweight, I'm slow. I think I could put up more seasons or more points that he's put up this preseason. I'm just saying. I'm just saying he is that fucking garbage.
Well, we talked about it way back when.
Well, it was the plus minus. For the plus minus, I think last week before this game last night, he was minus 40 in the plus minus, and he was the bottom out of all players that have played in the NBA preseason.
And they're still going to start him.
Yeah, and the crazy thing is the guy they drafted before him, what is his name? Devin, I think it's Devin Hatch or Devin Betch or whatever.
What is it, Oliver? Do you know?
I don't know.
But the white dude that they drafted, he balled out the game before and put up like 30-some points. Like, and he's looking solid.
Yeah.
And he's not getting any big time press because he's overshadowed by somebody's son who ain't doing shit.
This may be the first season in a long time I pay attention to the NBA. I think as the podcast kind of as we roll in, I'm not really engaged with the NBA. I was more engaged with WNBA.
Yeah.
But I want to see what happens. I want LeBron done. I'm going to be honest with you.
Well, I'm telling you what, this year's the next year. I mean, we thought it was going to be last year. TJ McConnell and the Pacers.
He said every year.
They did what Reggie Miller did to us back in the 90s. So it was a disappointment this playoff go around this past season. But the Knicks, I think they may have did right by getting Karl Anthony Towns in there. I mean, with him and Brunson and some of the other weapons, Hart's balling out too.
Don't you owe him a NBA game?
I do owe him an NBA game.
So you got to find Cleveland and the Knicks.
Yeah.
There you go. I just hooked you up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, I do owe him an NBA.
Let me get my Don Mitchell jersey.
So,
but I mean, there's a lot to look forward to.
Well, I mean, this is the first year in a long time that I've been genuinely sucked back in all the way to NFL. It took a hit. Like Sunday night, the Steelers and the Jets. The Jets made a move for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
Reconnecting. Now, here's my only thing. It's like
they didn't do anything to begin with when they were really.
Oh, I mean, he led the league. But it's just kind of like what was good then. How do you think it's? I don't know how you're going to be good now. They're both veterans.
But that's like bringing Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown back right now for the Steelers. Like, nah.
I don't know how it's going to work. Now, maybe that connection will pan out because
It gives them an additional weapon.
It spreads the field a little bit more. But
I don't think it's going to do shit, to be honest.
I want to see T.J. Watt absolutely just wreck the Jets.
No.
Wreck the Jets. I mean, I love watching the Steelers defense all the way around. It's just a mean unit of dudes.
So the Steelers defense has always been hard. Like, I woke up this morning and a clip popped up from like the early 2000s. It was showing hard hates by James Harrison and Ike Taylor.
Yeah. Back in the Legion of Boom.
It was like Ike Taylor, Palomala, Harrison, and
Ward. No,
not Ward. What is his name? He's an analyst now.
The Bus.
No, defensive player. He was a cornerback. Ryan Clark. Yeah. Ryan Clark.
Yep.
Just blasting fools, putting like people like knockout hits.
It's gonna be it's gonna be interesting. To see what happens because they announced that they're starting Russell Wilson, and I'm like,
that's
why?
That's bad business.
Why?
That is absolutely dog shit. You've got Fields out there.
He's doing good.
But then again, like I said, you bring a fucking Atlanta fucking coach in who didn't do shit last year as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
I don't expect much of a change from when Canada was an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Just because you can't replace shit with shit and expect a different outcome.
To me, what you do when you are saying, and I don't know the whole story behind it. Maybe there's a medical reason that we don't know about, but let's just say for argument's sake, it's just they want to try Russell Wilson out. Now you're planting doubt in Fields' mind when he was really starting to stride.
Yeah, and he was building that chemistry with the receivers.
The issue really is less with Fields than it is with not having quality receivers across the board that he can depend on.
No.
I
mean, you got Freiermuth, you got Pickens, who's going to have a highlight play here and there, but you don't have consistency in the receiving corps.
That one dude. Remember Edelman?
Yeah.
When Brady had Edelman, Brady had great receivers and great tight ends and everything, but you always had Edelman that could just it was like his he just knew how to do what needed to be done to get open, to always be a threat, and it always distracted the safety.
Well, also Brady had options.
Yes.
Brady had options, and he had chemistry with each of his receivers.
Yeah.
You got Fields now. He's starting to build that chemistry.
You're going to put Russell Wilson in?
And now you're gonna jack that all up, fuck with his confidence, fuck with the way the offense is already like meshing.
I don't get
that shit's stupid.
Yeah.
Like, and honestly, I hope if Russell Wilson starts, and it's not a knock on Russell Wilson, it's more on Tomlin and the coaching staff. I hope if they do this, they lose every game to show that their heads are up their ass.
Yeah.
You got a good thing going. You go with what's hot, because that's like when we put Ben Roethlisberger in back in the day before Tommy Maddox. Tommy Maddox got injured. We brought Roethlisberger in.
And he never left.
Because Roethlisberger was balling out. Hey, sorry, Maddox.
If Fields was doing bad, it would be a completely different story.
It'd be very easy. Yeah. But it's like, hey, you got somebody, we're getting the wins.
Yeah.
They're meshing. You can't screw with that chemistry. You know, if he starts losing, it's easy to justify. We'll be like, hey, we're pulling you out. We're putting our original starter back in. But
here we are.
Here we are. We're going to fuck. What are we, 5-6 games into the season now? And you're going to screw with it?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's just asinine.
Listen, I mean, here's like we said, it's going to be a fun season. There's a lot of stuff coming up sports-wise that we're gonna be able to really dive into. It's a dynamic time.
Yeah, I'm kind of feeling like a fucking irritated chicken right now. You know what an irritated chicken says, right? Fuck off! That's what I want to tell Tomlin. Fuck off!
That's such a dad joke, dude.
but seriously, it's irritating. Don't screw with the chemistry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're still not as bad as others. I mean, we could be Carolina fans. I tell you who, before we wrap, who really I felt horrible for was the Saints. So the Saints started out the first 2 games and they were just balling. I mean, they had like run-up points. And then they have so many players injured. They lost another 4 players during that game with the Broncos. It was hard to see that. And they are just, sometimes you make chicken salad out of chicken shit. They have managed to make chicken shit out of chicken salad. So at least we're not Saint fans. I mean,
I'm just glad I'm not a Saints fan, I'm not a Chicago fan, not a Jets fan, not a Browns fan.
Yeah. So
Or Carolina.
who do you think right now has the inside track to win the AFC?
AFC.
Gotta go with the Bills.
I'd go Buffalo, and then I'd go with Minnesota. Not with the AFC, but for the NFC.
For the NFC?
Yeah.
Who do you got, Oliver?
Bills or Texans?
Bills or Texans?
Yeah.
Who do you have for NFC?
NFC, Vikings or probably Commanders.
Yeah.
Really go to the Commanders.
They're balling.
Daniels is a
They're balling out.
Yeah. I don't know. Long season ahead, guys. Drop your comments and let us know what you think. I'd like to get a little bit of a poll, and we haven't done it in a while. That that we have asked for like your suggestions on bottles, but we'd like to see it again. I think
Let's post something today and get it out there for Tuesday.
Yeah, we'll do a poll. It's Scotch season. We're getting back to Scotch season too.
We haven't done much of Scotch, so let's do a
Yeah,
Scotch.
we'll do a good Scotch. And, just as a reminder, the Southern Tier thing, that's going to be really fun, guys. We really hope that if you're in the greater Pittsburgh area, tri-state area, come out and join us.
We're going to have some good giveaways.
Yeah, good giveaways, good beer, good cocktails.
Good food.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to really try all of the Southern Tier whiskeys, and they're going to hook us up.
They got it smoked and toasted, and they got that 7-year, which is pretty good.
So I'm super hyped to see it, and we look forward to bringing you some pretty cool content. Don't forget to like, follow, and tag out 3 people on Facebook and Instagram so you can get those entries for the bottles that we're going to be having. And like we say, until next time, stay thirsty, my friends. Cheers.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast of Bullits and Bourbon. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe so you never miss an episode.